Take three with Mike Bruce here. This is his super modified that he took to Victory Lane this year at Oswego Speedway. He was Rookie of the Year in the division, and you guys know that rookies usually don't win in the super modified division. So he's nice enough to kind of give us a tour and tell us about this thing. So let's crawl all around this thing. First of all, let's go through some of the basic. Mike, what is this thing exactly?
This is a independent front suspension Hawk super modified chassis. It's got a big block, alcohol injected engine in it. We carry 4 different fuel cells for the Classic so that we can make it through the fuel. We have a front fuel cell that it's in this location.
Yeah, right underneath.
We've got the side cell, which is in the back. There's one in behind the seat that you'll get a little better showing of. And then there's one behind the seat also.
How many gallons altogether?
They carry anywhere from, some cars carry 50, some cars carry 55 gallons total between all 4 tanks.
Do you need it all?
Yeah. A lot of guys run out. A lot of guys run out during the Classic, so you're pushing right there close. So 50 gallons, I don't think is quite enough. I think you need at least 52. So we were a little short at Classic.
Compared to some of the stuff I see, first thing I noticed with independent front suspension, and there's no solid axle. There is no straight axle going across. So basically, it's meant so each corner is going to do its own thing, pretty much, right?
Yeah. There's more to it than I have the knowledge on. When Joey Hawksby designed these cars for the independent front suspension, a lot more. The 350s run a straight axle where the big block supers don't. They run independent and puts the shocks inside with the rockers and little different style suspension.
Now, when you wreck this into the wall versus a car with a straight axle, like you said, you hit the right front in the wall. Basically, everything we're seeing that's outside of the car here is the only things that needed to be replaced.
Yeah, it was semi inexpensive to racers' terms of inexpensive, but
right.
It was semi inexpensive because we were just wrecking some bars and some heims, stuff like that, rather than taking off hubs and shocks and springs and everything else that goes along with it. So.
Okay. So we'll work our way back now. Obviously, we'll take some time here on the engine. One of the big things I said to you when I looked at this was, boy, that radiator seems pretty small.
Yep. Yeah, running on the methanol, they run a lot cooler. We actually tape the radiators off sometimes to get heat in them. You got to, when we fire them up, we got to let them sit there and idle to get heat in them before we go out and
like
run
a sprint
them.
car.
The methanol just runs a lot cooler, so we don't have to run monstrous. Similar to like what the dirt modifieds are, we don't have to run anything that big.
No carburetors, but fuel injection.
Oh, yeah. The fuel injection, this is my first year with one. I learned a ton on it. Jimmy D built this engine. He's probably one of the smartest builders out there when it comes to these injections, and he's a stellar guy. So he came down the first few weeks with us and tuned it all up. He had it on dyno and just kind of taught us all the ins and outs of it. So there's a lot that goes into the injections.
These headers have to be specially made. I mean, I've never seen one that comes off the right side of the engine forward like that and out the side. Are they custom made?
Yeah, everything on this car, there's not a single thing on here that is not custom made. Hawksby builds everything, designed everything himself, every single piece and part, header placements, all the A-arms. I mean, he's one of the smartest guys when it comes to super modifieds, and everything on this is super modifieds are completely custom. I don't want to say they're all one-offs because a lot of Hawksby's cars are all similar, but one super modified to another super modified, they're going to be different. So
yeah, it's not like a Bicknell where if I got a 2021, it's a 2021, and that's all there is to it.
We brought the headers out to BA. He built a set of stainless headers for this, and he has a jig actually for Hawksby's cars to fit, because you can see over in here how tight they are to all the framing and stuff like that. I mean, they got to fit perfect. So.
And each header pipe has to be the same length or it doesn't work.
There's a lot of detail in the headers.
So there's that other fuel cell. We kind of got a better look at it from this angle right here.
This side here holds 7 gallons. It was a custom tank that Hawksby built for me, specifically for Classic. I think Otto Sidderly originally came up with the idea to run a front cell up here, just literally trying to carry as much fuel anywhere in the car as possible. You got to almost take apart the whole front end just to get that front fuel cell.
I can imagine. Yeah. Probably not easy to fill either, I would think. So now here's the big one here. Then there's also 2 more. Okay, there's one, I guess we really, oh yeah, there's the little one behind the seat. You can just pick it up right there.
Yep.
And then there's the other one that is behind the rear end. Now, you told me that depending on how the car is handling on that day, you can make it draw from one cell versus the other to change the handling of the car.
Yeah, so this side cell here and the front cell are both ran off of electrical fuel pumps. We got one fuel pump here, and then we got another fuel pump here. I got a switch here that I can reach and a switch over here that's in the cockpit. Based off of if the car is pushing, you might want to get rid of your front load first. If the car's super loose, you want to get rid of your left side weight first. So it typically transfers back pretty quick. So everything transfers back to the rear cell, and then the rear cell runs a line up to the mechanical pump off the right side of the engine, and then that transfers it back to the seat cell, and then the seat cell picks up over to the fuel pump, to the back side of the oil pump here, and that's what feeds into the injection. So
There's going to be a quiz on that, guys. I hope you paid attention.
yeah.
So
there's a lot more to it. There's high speeds and there's low speeds. There's all sorts of fine-tuning adjustments with washers and everything that gets into it that makes everything run properly in here. So
okay, we're going to let you go essay form, though, so it'll be okay.
Right.
Look in here, boy, the rear end, the center of it is right here. So this axle here can't be, less than a foot maybe, right?
yeah, the left side doesn't come out very far. Just the way that these cars are designed, the rear end's off to the left side of the
Drive
chassis.
shaft in there, too, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, everything's super, super tight, especially this is prepped from Classic still, so we got, we don't always have to run the side cell or the front cell, but these cars are so, when I went through this car this winter, everything is just so tight and confined. And,
Yeah.
And, I mean,
And how the heck you get into this thing with that fuel cell on there?
Yeah. You just climb. It's your own gymnasium. You climb, and this headrest comes off. You take this headrest
Yeah, because how could you
off
get
every
out?
time.
Or how could you get in or get out
Yeah.
that way? So,
Yeah, that's
okay.
it.
Now we're going to look inside here and see some of the controls. Okay, what are we looking at here?
So this is this car is pretty tight. That's how we had it. Not necessarily how we designed it, but that's how I was comfortable in this car. So you just got your gauges. You got your oil pressure, your oil temperature, your water. We got a tach that we run. This is your ignition. Over here on the side, down in here is actually how you put it into gear for the rear end. So these cars don't have starters, so you put it in gear, and then a push truck pushes you off, similar to a dirt sprint car.
You watch the oil pressure?
Watch the oil pressure, and then once you get up to your poundage, you flip your ignition switch on, and that tells
What are we
it to
looking
fire.
for? Are we just looking for that gauge to move?
About 60. You
want it
let
that
it.
much?
Yeah, you get her up there. It goes up pretty quick, especially when these are cooler. They typically run. They'll run a little bit higher.
Does it jump when you put it into gear or no?
It doesn't necessarily feel it. Once the tires start rotating within in gear from them pushing, that's what will build up your pressure because it's actually turning the whole engine. And then when you hit the ignition switch, that's what allows it to say, hey, we have spark here, let's fire up. So
Very cool. I hope you guys like this. Mike, thanks for taking us around this, man. This is awesome. So, love the car. There's a lot more to these things than you guys probably looked at. So, we'll got some other suggestions. We'll do this. I love doing this. I love learning about these cars. So, our extra thanks to Mike for doing that. As always, hit the blue E to subscribe. We're doing a lot of cool stuff. You want to learn about racing? I'm going to learn a lot this off season. Hope you guys learn with me. Awesome. Thanks for having me out, man.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you.